Happy Planner meets Mixed Media with Creative Katie. That's me, Karen Burchell. This weekly spread shows another way to use those pictures and pages from your magazines and using those punches that you have to make embellishments. Hit the subscribe button and you won't miss any upcoming videos. So we're getting started in the month of April, the week of the 17th to the 23rd. Now, I'm going to admit something. I kind of figured out where I was going with this spread when I was doing last week's spread. And sometimes I do that to save time. I've taken out all the purple stuff for the theme, and I'm starting to think about it, and that's a perfect time to kind of double up, and it saves time when you sit down to do the planner. So last week we used a magazine picture as a focal point. And this week we're going to use a magazine picture. Actually, it's a picture from a calendar, but you can use pictures and colors from a magazine that you like in your planner. So here is the calendar picture that I liked, and I love this color combination. It really speaks to me, and it's got the purple and the teal, and it's just great. And I'm not going to fussy cut this because I don't fussy cut that much. I hate it. So I decided that I can use this or any magazine colorful spread in my planner. So once I had that as a starting point, I pulled out my box that goes with my planner stuff, and I pulled out everything, the stickers, the stamps, the ATC cards, things that go together. And as you can see, I had lots of things in my stash that are going to work perfectly together. Outside of how I plan to use that initial picture, I really have no idea. Right now I'm showing you an ATC background that I smooshed, and I'm going to put a link to my mixed media technique tag video where I talk about smooshing and using all the different color mediums. So please check that out. So I have this, and I'm thinking, okay, I want to use this much the way that I used my jelly prints, because reality speaks. Not everybody has a jelly plate that can make jelly prints. And if you don't have scrapbook papers, what can you use? Well, you can go to your magazine, pull out any interesting color combination that you like, and cut it the size of the squares, and I'm just using a template here to do that. Cut it the size of the squares and glue it in. My goal in using jelly prints or the calendar here or magazine pages is to put some color onto my page. I don't want it just stark white. It's too open. It's a little overwhelming when you go to it. So what I'm going to do is just put some color down on that page. So I've cut 4 of these, and I'm just, kind of putting them every second one, because I just still need some of that space to plan. But I know from my past history, I don't need every single space. Now, since I have some of this left over, I'm going to use the same paper, the same color combinations as my tracking device that I put in the top section. As you know from past videos, I use this to divide the box. The top I have my daily to-dos, and my bottom I put my meal planning. And then I hole punch it, and you're going to see me doing that. And I use that as my water tracker. So it's kind of a multi-purpose. And again, it's another opportunity to put some color onto the page. And as you go and you try some of these techniques or strategies that I'm using, you might say, yeah, that's not for me, or that absolutely is for me. Or you might create your own, and then it's something that you're going to want to continue doing. When you find something that works, stick to it. You don't have to reinvent the wheel every single time. Even though with these videos, I kind of promise to have something new each time. Now, this is a Avery tag, that's adhesive that I have done jelly printing on, and it's in these colors. And I used a punch to make it that tag shape. And it occurs to me that while I don't have any punches, because I borrowed that from my friend Yvonne, you could totally use any of the punches that you have. If you have been a card maker, you've got those punches of flowers and things. Cut it out of either the stickers or out of the magazine paper and use that to create embellishments that you can then glue onto your page to decorate your planners. So I have these little dots that again match the color scheme, and this time I'm just going to use them as the bullets. And oh my goodness, it's so nice to be able to just have the sticker and just put it on without having to worry about the glue sticks and that kind of thing. So there is an advantage to doing that. So I'm getting my stamp ready to put the numbers. I have my household to-dos and then I have my creative to-dos on the bottom. And I always use this Tim Holtz stamp to have the numbers. Then I guess I changed my mind and I'm going to just glue this down with a glue stick. In other videos you've seen me using gel medium. The reason for that is it's whatever is closest when I'm happening to be doing the video. And I want to show you that if you don't have gel medium, you don't have to go out and buy it. You can use a glue stick. Later on, off camera, I do trace around this with black to add that little pop of black. Every page needs it. Now I'm putting the glue on the back of these kind of off to the side. And the reason for that is it's a purple glue stick, and for some reason it doesn't dry always clear, and that bugs me. So that's why I'm doing it off camera. Otherwise I would just put the glue maybe straight across the on the paper and stick it on, and then it dries. It also keeps it neater in case you get glue where the paper isn't. If it was a solid piece, it would be different, but because I punched the holes. Now I kept what I punched out off to the side because I'm kind of thinking that I might use it as bullets like I did last time, but we'll see what happens with that. So I pull out a couple colors of my distress inks, and these really, this is the biggest workout they're getting is in my planner because I do not use them in my mixed media art journal pages. I know some people do. I just don't. But here, I love the colors. And I'm kind of using both, and I want to get a little teal and a little purple. And I just out of the corner of my eye, I saw this magazine page, and it's nothing specific. There's no picture there. But if you cut out the squares, as I'm doing here, just to show you, you can cut out the squares and you can use that in your planner. So again, you don't have to go out and buy something. You can just have that. Then you can stamp a saying on there if you want. You can put that on the back of an ATC. And you're just reusing something that you already have. So I'm just stamping this after I figure out the spaces. And then I have my create stamp. And these stamps, the numbers and the create stamp and the letters for to spell out to do, I just keep in a box, a small box that I have all my little planner stuff in. So I don't have to go and search every week for these things that I'm using every week. I'm not usually one to clean my stamps, but because Distress ink is water activated, I don't want necessarily these colors to show up in the next time I'm using the stamp, so just took a little moment to wipe it off. So stamping create and to do, and this time instead of putting any jelly paper or jelly print or magazine paper underneath as to stamp on, I just did it straight onto the page. So there's my little box, and everything goes back in it, and it's ready for next week. So the box I kind of assemble at the beginning of the month with anything that I think might work for that theme or that color that's going to be going on. So there I'm peeling off and gets in the wrong spot and it's extremely sticky. Kind of like in this tag look. I wish I actually owned that punch, but I don't. And I have a stamp. I think it was a Kaiser Craft stamp. Then I have this little asterisk stamp that I got with one of my letter stamp sets that I bought from Michael's. I think it was a Recollections brand. And I'm just stamping it in the two colors and going to make bullets with that. Now, I really thought of this because in the picture that we started with at the beginning, there was kind of this cross star look in the middle of those flowers. And so I'm kind of repeating the lines that I saw previously in the picture. I'm just kind of lining these up and giving myself some bullets for planning my more specific to-dos or the breakdown of what I'm going to put in a video or blog post or the like. So I'm kind of liking this. I really like the color scheme. It's very calm and soothing. And so now it's time to do the ATC. And this top one was, I think it was leftover paint. And then I just did some doodling on it and coloring in. So I'm going to stamp on this, but it's kind of a dark color. And I'm not sure. I think about using gold embossing or the black, but I don't think that's going to show up very well. I have silver, but you know, I'm going to go with white because I'm going to get that contrast. But I did notice I have the purple and the teal. I'm thinking I might have missed an opportunity to use embossing powders on the planner page somewhere. Maybe I'll have to dig them out next week. So I'm just stamping into the Versamark ink and pressing it down. And I kind of moved it a little, as you're going to see. I'm not going to get all those words perfectly clear, especially the bottom one. The letters are very close together and you lose some clarity, I guess. Always, always, always put your powders back into the container before you get out the heat tool and before you knock it over. Not saying I've done that, but yeah. We're going to heat this up, and I do like the white contrast, even though my stamping wasn't exactly wonderfully perfect. I think I just don't do enough of it. Maybe I need to go to stamp school. So this page was completed in about 40 minutes, complete work time. So, you know, that's pretty good. I don't mind spending that much time. Now I'm using the Versamark pen and I'm just going around it and I'm going to get that teal out and I'm going to put a border of teal around there because, well, I just needed to. I kind of wish I had done the bullets, the asterisk bullets. I could have totally done that with the embossing powder. That would have been so cool. But you can learn and you can do it now because you have the idea. All I'm doing with these videos is trying things out, making mistakes, so you don't have to, giving you ideas that you may not have thought of, you know, and the whole idea is to have a nice planner, have some time creating interesting spreads, and not spend a lot of money on all the extra embellishments that you can purchase for these planners. So there's the one side of the ATC. And because it's a busy background, I wanted a little bit bolder text. So I picked something that was a little bit bolder and just the two words. I didn't want to have a long quote here. And as you know, I have my quote binder and I have other things that I've printed off at different times that I just keep there that somehow sooner or later all find their way on an ATC or iCAD or journal page. So there's the smooshing one, and that's actually on photo paper. And I have these clear stickers, which I thought would be great, but I find, they're really hard to use because some of them are longer and stuff, but I'm thinking, I've got a lot of color there. That's going to show up really well there. So again, use your stash. And in my stash, I have this dragonfly. I had made some dragonflies and butterflies on watercolor paper. And they were just sitting, they just sit there. I haven't given them a permanent home yet. And I thought, yeah, that would be perfect just to put there a little bit of a dragonfly. And the dragonfly is very much the same colors as the background. So I'm just going around it, edging it with the black. And then I do actually outline with this Faber-Castell Pitt pen, just to make sure that it stands out against the background. And you can glue this down flat like I do, or you can leave it so it's 3D. I'm applying the gel medium to the top, and I'm being very light with it because that is watercolor paint underneath, and I don't want to reactivate it and smudge it any. I want it to stay the bright true colors that they are. So we have the black around there, so I definitely need to put a black edge on this in some way, shape, or form. So I grab my black acrylic paint and a makeup sponge, and I'm just going to go around. And I want it to not be so precise. If you wanted to, you could, actually draw a straight line all the way around it, just kind of outline the page. I prefer a more organic kind of look, I guess it is. But I want it to match the smooshing, so it's not so precise. And that just really sets off the card. I really love this, so I might make this as an ATC to give away to someone. Now, as I was going to put this in the planner, I noticed that it's green on the bottom, and that bugged me. I needed it to be teal. So I went to that initial stash of things that I pulled out to match the calendar picture, and I just cut the strips out of these jelly printed sticker, and I just cut it to size, and I'm just putting it along the bottom just to get rid of the green and reinforce the color scheme that I have. So there's the spread back all together in the planner, and I really like this, and I hope you like it too, and we'll give it a chance. There I'm showing you all that's left of that calendar page is two little tiny pieces and a couple thin strips. So I really used what was in my stash. Always feels good to recycle. Now I want to talk about these ATCs. Like when the week passes, I put them in this little book. I have these ARC discs, and I just keep adding them. Someone asked, well, that's a lot of work to go through just for the week spread. And I said, but this is what my plan is. I now have this little book. It sits here on my desk. It's flat, and I have all these beautiful ATCs, inspirational quotes. This would also make a really cute gift to send to someone once it's a little bit fuller with quotes and stuff. So coming up are some close-ups of this planner spread. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you give it a try. If you do, please, please, please come join my Facebook group, All Things Mixed Media, Creative Katie. I'm really trying to develop a group there that shares and posts what they're creating and helping each other out in this creative journey, giving each other ideas and inspiring each other. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. More importantly, if you know anybody who may enjoy it, please share it with them. And as always, please leave a comment in the comment section below. I read everyone and I answer everybody's comment. Thanks for joining me, and we'll see you next week. Bye.